Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. As I told you guys yesterday, today we're taking a look at my entire last day of the February season of the Legend League, which means overall 8 attacks. Doesn't matter whether it's gonna be fails or triples or whatever, I will show you every single attack in the right order. And obviously, as soon as we took a look at all of this, well, we take a look at what I finished and how I did this over the entire season. And then obviously we're getting started with the new season. If you want to watch that live, I will stream that today in the evening, obviously only in German. So if you guys are waiting for a couple of English streams, right now I have to admit it, I do not have the time for any English streams right now. I'm super sorry for that. But either way, let's get started with the first attack and the first base, which we can hopefully take down. One quick reminder, all of those attacks are in the right order, which means I'm not like shuffling around them or like whatever. Those are the attacks, all of the 8 bases of the last day. This was the first attack, and this was on the base of Ariam. And this base is actually one of the bases which I used for quite some time on my small account. So I should know how to attack this base. So what we're doing first, we're starting like a queen walk at front of the CC, and then we let walk our queen in the right on the right side, break our king in, and then in between the hybrid into the core. This is what I normally do on this base. So let's see on how we can deal with all of the stuff around there. So let's get started with taking out the CC. Then as soon as that's taken out, we can start with the rage and taking out the enemy king. This is like a really nice beginning because we took out obviously the CC first, then the enemy king, and now we're getting into the enemy queen first or second, which means we took already out 2 heroes. And even though the hybrid isn't really having huge issues with heroes, nonetheless those miners take really long to take out any of the heroes, and they're getting lured away of the original pathing, which is most of the time really annoying. The next thing, obviously the Baby Dragon on the right side is funneling everything inside, making sure that my queen is staying healthy. A little bit stupid by me with the black mine not triggering it, and making sure that my healers, like I have only 4 healers at this point, which isn't the best thing to have. The perfect freeze timing on the Inferno Tower, and then the queen is like keep going over there. Obviously all of the ground expos are super annoying for me at this point, but either way we're starting in with our hybrid into the CC, then the Inferno Tower, and then the Town Hall. Normally the miners will always activate the Town Hall, which means the Hawk Riders can like immediately jump on and get onto the town as well. Early warn ability just to make sure that everything is looking good. And then the Blim from the other side. And I have to say, I completely forgot my 2 Coco Loons. I should have dropped them, which would have meant that my Yetis would have dropped onto the enemy scatter shot, which would have been way better. And this way, they're taking the scatter shot out, but this scatter shot did already so much damage over the time. So yeah, mines are getting through the base. I have I have nearly no Hawk Riders left anymore. Mines are splitting to both sides. We have luckily still the Royal Champion alive, and we have zero ability. Now on the right side we have all of the miners, which is looking good. On the left side we have the Royal Champion. And sometimes, guys, do not use the Royal Champion ability too early. Sometimes you want to save the Royal Champion ability just for cleanup purposes, so you can time the ability. And this was the problem on this attack as well. This split, like only 1 miner is going to the right side, most of the miners coming to the left side, which isn't really the best thing to have. And now the Royal Champion ability a little bit too early, because this means the Royal Champion is taking out 2 buildings on the left part, and the shield is not bouncing to the spell factory, which means this is gonna be the first attack and a 99. RIP. Either way, let's take a look at the next base. And this base kind of reminds me of another base. You guys might remember this kind of popular Stephanie base, which I highlighted, I think like a month or even longer ago. The base did pretty well in the beginning, but it got more and more popular, which means overall popular bases tend to do really bad. This is how it works, right? Like my base, for example, which I posted on YouTube, did really well in the beginning, but then turned out really bad as soon as like more and more people figured out a way. On this is the base with like the core with all of the X-spells and everything. And the idea on this base is kind of similar to the original base, what we are attacking. So The idea of this base is basically to get into the base around the eagle, take that out, and create a really nice pathing. This is everything which you want to take out with our queen in the beginning. Then the upper left corner should be taken out with our king and siege machine, and then the hybrid in between. So on this base, the unique thing is that you have the Inferno Towers kind of centralized, which means you cannot reach them. Normally you have the Inferno Tower not in the tunnel compartment, because this makes it too easy for pathing purposes, like for Yeti Smash, for hybrid, whatever. They always have a path into the town hall. But because this guy had all of the Inferno Towers in the core, this means we had to work around there and have to create a nice pathing for our hybrid to get into the core. What we're doing for this is, even though we're normally attacking with a Yeti Blimp, we're switching over to the Siege Barracks. This is an important thing which you have to keep in mind whenever you're attacking with any army, that you should bring all of the other siege machines with you, just in case if you want to switch them. Even though you cannot switch the CC, like what is in the CC, for example, for me it's going to be Yetis, but you can switch the siege machine. This is super important because the Yeti Blimp, for me, would have done nothing. So the siege barracks over there is really nice for us. The hybrid and everything is getting into the core just because of all of those Inferno Towers. Otherwise, they would have walked around the base, and with those Inferno Towers making sure that the pathing is right into the town hall, this was the best way on how to attack this base. And since we basically put all of our miners to the core, and the Hawk Riders obviously as well, in our Royal Champion, this is looking really good because there's not too much space to cover with heal spells, which means those heal spells are doing work. And obviously then the warden ability for the core and this base is completely wrecked. I think it only took me around 2 minutes and 10 seconds or something like that. So far a 99% and a 3-star, which isn't too bad. Even though 99% is super annoying, especially in my case where I did a mistake and this cost the 99. But either way, so far we're doing great. 72 trophies so far, and this is going to be the next base. And I have to say, I freaking hate this base. This is one of the newest versions of this current setup, with the 3 Inferno Towers around the top. It's really weak against Yeti Smash, but if you're attacking with Queen Charge Hybrid, I don't know, this attack is giving me so much trouble. So let's see if we can finally beat our nemesis. So what we're doing over here, we're starting off with a couple of loons and then the Yeti Blimp onto the Inferno Tower. We not only want to take out the Inferno Tower, but the Scatter Shot as well if it's possible, and then obviously lure the enemy clan castle. This is key, because if you can take out the enemy clan castle early, especially with all of the ground expos right now, it's always really nice, because this means it's most likely one less rage which you have to use. So this is obviously a nice thing. What I'm normally doing then on this base is doing a Queen Hawk around the top, a hybrid onto the town hall, and then king on the left side with breaking him in, just to make sure that we get the pathing and the tanking right. So as soon as we took out the enemy CC without using anything except our poison, so far the attack is actually looking pretty good. So let's see on how we can do so far. The next thing we're going to do is obviously using the rage, because both enemy heroes are gonna engage my own queen. We can kill them after each other, which means we do not need any freezes whatsoever, which is nice for us obviously. And then the next thing is we still can use the rage to take out the enemy storages, and this means obviously everything is a little bit faster. Whenever you're doing a hybrid attack, you always have time issues, especially with the Yeti Blimp. It takes so long, for the coconut loons to deploy, for the blimp getting into place, then opening, then everything has to die over there obviously, then the CC is coming out, so everything is taking quite a while to make sure that everything is working. So yeah, time is always an issue. This is why we placed the Bell Dragon as well at the top, just to make sure that time isn't as big of a problem as normally. And as soon as everything looks set, we're starting off with our king and with our hybrid into the town hall. Obviously, all of the Hawk Riders in as well, just behind the miners. So normally the deploy order, if the next target is really close, you're going with miners, the warden, Royal Champion, then Hawk Riders. But if the path, if it takes really long for the miners or whatever to travel, then you're deploying first the warden, then the miners, and then the Royal Champion, then the Hawk Riders. This is the kind of the normal deployment order. For us, I think we mix some things up sometimes, but either way, the next thing obviously placing the heals and everything. The not as lucky part for us on this attack, the healers did not switch. Like, normally you guys know it, whenever you do not want the healers to switch, they're gonna switch. But on this one, even though the queen is taking no damage at all, the healers won't switch as until now, which is way too late. And now they're switching back onto the queen, even though the queen is taking no damage at all, which is a little bit unlucky. But yeah, I don't know, like sometimes the luck is just not with you, I guess. And yeah, the healers are finally switching when we have only 3 miners left. This is a big, nice thing. Damn it. Either way, 91%, which isn't too bad. We can still recover. This is an important thing which you always have to keep in mind. Even though if you might start with 2 1-stars into the day, you can still recover. Just like get concentrated again, get into the next attack, and everything should look good. So this is going to be the next base we're taking a look at. This is one of those teaser bases with the town hall on the left side, out of the scatter shots and expos in behind, and then like the heroes on the left side with most of the traps most likely as well. And it's just like a big trap, so do not fall for it. Something which you can always go for is if there's a flanking Inferno Tower, for example, on one of the far sides of the town hall, go for it. You most of the time do not need a rage spell, and this for me means we can take out the enemy Inferno Tower without using any rages, and then get in the queen and starting with a hybrid into the town hall. This is like the goal what we're trying to go for right now. Another reason why this is really nice is because the timing of the CC is way better, because you can see right now we have only 1 expo and it's scatter shot on us, and now we only have a scatter shot during the enemy CC or during taking out the enemy CC, which isn't too bad. So this is something to keep in mind. Couple of wall breakers on the left side just to make sure that we're spotting for a couple of traps, and as expected we have most of the traps on the left side. Now let's get in the hybrid with the king. King tanking the 1 scatter shot, the other scatter shot is getting tanked by the queen, which is looking really good for us. 2 rages already used for our queen, first heal spell is getting used as well for our hybrid. Warden ability and everything so far is looking really good. Obviously we could try to go for wall breakers right now, but right now I'm not really like convinced that the wall breakers will actually make it through the wall, because sometimes wall breakers are a little bit random. So I wanted to have the left side cleared first and then sending in the wall breakers. Last year just above the bomb tower, and now you guys can see I'm using the wall breakers now to make sure that our queen is being able to keep going on, because she will at some point engage the enemy royal champion and then she will be stuck. So this is why we use the wall breakers over there, just to make sure that she's getting deeper into the base. And we see the troll tester on the right clock side. We do not want our hawk riders or whatever pathing over there, and this is why we're saving the royal champion ability, just so only 4 defenses are left alive. So using the royal champion ability now, everything is getting taken out by the royal champion ability, and this means this is going to be an easy triple for us. This is a pretty easy base. I think this even works with the Yeti Smash if you would like to do it like this. But either way, let's try to take a look at the next base, which is once again an earlier version of the base which I hate so much. But on this base we have this long channel at the bottom, and this is the key for the success on this base. But at the same time, the blimp value, like the Yeti blimp value, is way higher on this base. So this is way better to attack with this strategy which I'm using, and then you can have the hybrid into the core, into the town hall, because on the other version you have a dead zone around the core, which means it's pushing always the hybrid around the town hall. But with this Inferno Tower right now, it always it creates kind of like a bridge for your troops to get to the town hall, which is key. So this is an old version which I would not recommend for you guys to use it, because it's way easier. But on the other hand, the other version is, like I said, really weak to Yeti Smash. So let's take a look at this base first, because this is the base which we are attacking. You want to break into the channel with the mortar just to make sure, because otherwise you cannot reach the ground exposed. This is key for the success. And then obviously, like, as soon as you're charging deeper into the base, you can rage everything. A little bit unlucky with the CC timing over here, but either way it's still fine. The enemy royal champion is luckily not engaging yet our queen, which means so far it's looking really good. The ice golem is freezing our healers, but still it's looking really good for us. So let's start with the hybrid at the top. One last rage for our queen, and now we can get started with our minus hawk riders and obviously the royal champion. King meanwhile took out the enemy king at the top, and now we can see how they're working around the upper side on this base. Queen meanwhile still alive at the bottom. We're placing one wizard at the bottom left as well, just to make sure that we have like the cleanup already going. Otherwise it might be a time fail. We know our attacks causing a lot of time fails. And now we have finally a couple of mines on the town hall. The Royal Champion is helping as well. Nice water ability to keep everything alive. And even though we do not have any heal spells left alive, this base is so compact that we have nice freezes. Like this one, for example, we have an Expo, enemy Warden, enemy Scattershot, and enemy Queen. I think there's not a better freeze like this, it feels like sometimes. So this is a lot of value with the freeze, and this means this is going to be a triple. Once again, we're saving our Royal Champion ability for the perfect moment where it is right now, or like as soon as she's reaching the Wizard Tower, and then just use the ability, get rid of all of the Tesla, and this means this is going to be another triple for us. So far it's looking not too bad if we can keep going with the triples. And I mean, except the two triples which we had so far, with a 99 and a 91 I think, which aren't too bad, like around about 30 trophies at least. So far it's looking good, but let's keep going. Only 4 attacks, which means only the half of my attacks are done, which means 4 attacks to go. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at the next base, which is going to be another teaser base. Those teaser bases are so popular right now because they tend to do really well against the Yeti Smash. Because if something is running into all of the traps into the with the Yeti Smash, it tends to have like a really low percentage, either 2-star or even like sometimes a 1-star. So this is kind of risky to attack with Yeti Smash. And what we're doing on this one is we're using an off angle to dodge most of the traps for a Yeti Blim. And what we try to go for is the enemy Town Hall, and lure the enemy C. Those two things are clutch. If we can get those, this would be key. And we get both out of the way, like I said. And you can see the Tornado Trap over there as well, which means, as we expected, a lot of traps over there. Obviously, like Coconut Loon, Poison, everything is down. So far it's looking good. What is the next step for our attack? After taking out all of this, we have 2 options. Our queen is going right, our queen is going left. One of those 2 options is going to happen, and we do not really care which one she's going for, but as soon as she's going left or right, we're starting to support her with the hybrid. So let's see where she is going. 1 Rage, 1 more Cocoon, and we're a little bit unlucky. I don't know whether it's unlucky or just the base design. Let's say it's the base design. We're engaging the enemy heroes both at the same time, which means we have to invest a freeze at this point. Our queen seems to go to the right, which means we have to wallbreaker in over there. And the goal is basically for our queen to get into the deeper into the base, go for the enemy Scattershot and enemy Warden, and take those out. And now we're starting off with our king. The king is like going around like a little bit random, and is supposed to go into the cannon. Now we're starting with the hybrid, but because our queen did not go into the compartment, we have to do like a sneaky next layer of the wall break, because we still have 3 wall breakers left. Everything is tanked, so we can get our queen inside. But at this point, you guys might wonder, like Itsu, there's something happening which we do not really understand. And the question is, Itsu, why do you have still all of your Hawk Riders not placed? I straight up forgot them. I don't know why, but it sometimes happens. It was just basically a huge stupid mistake. But we still have our Hawk Riders to place. I noticed it at some point, luckily, to place them, because I was just wondering, why is this going so slow? Why is my hybrid not doing as well? And then I noticed, like, you have still 13 Hawk Riders to place. Like, what are you doing? And luckily, a couple of last miners took out the double giant bomb in behind of the Inferno Tower, and with my queen taking out the bomb, the Scattershot, it's not too much damage left in this base. The only issue which we have right now is, once again, like always, the time. I hate the freaking time, even though I would hate if the time is getting reduced, because otherwise the game would be too easy. But with this, the time is getting really, really close. We have a couple of miners and the wizards which we place at the top as well for the cleanup. So it could be still enough, but it's gonna be super close. The queen is gonna try to engage the last couple of buildings. Meanwhile, a black mine, but the warden and the queen gonna clutch it for the last second. So this means we got another triple for the day. This is looking slowly really good. We have a couple of attacks left to show you guys, and then we're taking a look at how I finished the season and how I finished the entire Legend Day. And well, let's see what the next base is going to be. And the next base is going to be a kind of popular one, but this guy redesigned the base a little bit. So what we're trying to do is, or like, first off, you guys might know this base with the 2 Expos, the Inferno Towers over there. It's a pretty common base, but he changed some things up. So what we're doing over here, we let our queen walk to the we let our queen walk to the Archer Tower, and then she will like return because of this double tiled gap over there. Then she will return to the Expo, and then we will try to break her in into the base. Obviously funneling with the Baby Dragon as well, just to make sure that everything is going in. Wall break successfully. So far it's looking really good. The next thing obviously is to take out the enemy scatter shot and get the next wall break done. It's most of the time not easy to get a wall break in front of the scatter shot, except you have the timing on the right, like as the right second is coming. Otherwise it might be a bit tricky sometimes. Using a rage just to make sure that we do not have to have too many wall breakers getting over there. And then obviously the king, and once again the siege barracks at the right side, because on this one we do not have too much value for a siege for Yeti blimp. So what I'm trying over here, I'm starting off with the siege barracks instead, and unlucky, like a bit unlucky, but we have the enemy Inferno Tower on our queen, which is a bit unfortunate. I tried to tank it with like the Hawk Riders a little bit, but in the end it was enough. We are still waiting for our queen to take out the town just to make sure that we can start with the hybrid into the back end, because as soon as we start with the hybrid, we have nothing to secure the true star anymore. And as soon as I see, okay, my queen is going the right way, we got the rage down, we have her ability left, everything's looking good, we can start with the hybrid. And now there's this super annoying Tesla farm in the core with the ground skeletons, everything, which means this is going to be super annoying, and the troops are splitting a little bit, which isn't the best thing, because we do have Yetis inside the siege barracks, which means we do not have something like Hawk Riders in there which could support our main push. So this means we have a couple of Yetis running around the outside of the base, which isn't the best, like I said. But still, the siege barracks at this point was still better to pick. And now we have our queen walking on the outside again. She can reach now everything, which is nice. And we have our hybrid still alive. So this is looking really good if the time is going to be enough. Tornado Trap at the top. But this looks really good for us, which means we should get another triple down. We have still our queen ability, which we just used, which means she should get everything. Our Yetis are still alive, walking around the outside. And now our mines are getting into the back end as well. As soon as she is, the queen is going to kill the scatter shot. We got the triple, and this means we got another triple for the day. One attack left, and then we'll show you guys how we finished up with the day. So far it's looking really great. I think 90+% time / fails, whatever. But except that, it looks really good. If we can get another triple, it would look even better. So let's try to take a look at this base. And this base is freaking annoying for hybrid. I never tripled this base so far. I obviously attacked this base already a couple of times. Like most of the bases out there in Legend League are kind of known, let's put it like this. And it's once again one of those annoying teaser bases. Like, you know, there are going to be a lot of traps at the top. We have the 2 single Inferno Towers at the top. So you do not want to attack it from the top. What I tried once is doing like a queen walk, like I already do on those teaser bases. And then a Yeti blimp just to take out the air defense. But this is not working on this base somehow. So I have to come with something different. And this what I will do is the first time that I did this. So it was kind of risky as well, because I'm coming from the complete other side than the town hall. And the goal was to set our queen over here, funnel over there with 2 loons and a wizard. And as soon as that is funneled, on the left side funneled as well as the Baby Dragon, we can charge with our queen into the eagle. But then we have this really annoying single Inferno Tower on our queen. So what I will do is I will send the Yeti blimp delayed on the single Inferno Tower as soon as my queen took out most of the damage. This is the goal. It's a crazy plan, but let's see if we can make this somehow work. So wizards on the right funneled everything perfectly. Baby Dragon on the left will come in a second. And as soon as our queen is getting closer to the damage, we have to rage her. Just to make sure that she's staying alive. There's a lot of damage. The Yeti blimp is coming in, and the rage was way too late. Like, our queen took way too much damage. Now we have to freeze her, to freeze the scatter shot and use her ability, because we were way too late with the spells. and we didn't want her to die. Otherwise, this could have caused a super bad one-star mistake. Now the Yeti blimp is into the base. It's taking out everything over there perfectly. Our last rage is placed. We do not have anything more right now, like for supporting our queen, except the poison. So far it's like right now it's getting a bit sketchy. So what I'm doing, just try to throw our hybrid in just to support everything, and because the eagle is already out of the way, we can delay our heal spells kinda a lot. So king on the other hand is supporting our hybrid from the outside just to make sure that the hybrid is staying inside. Now the queen is walking around the outside again, just to try to find something to attack except the wall. And meanwhile our king is dead. We didn't have any freezes to save him. The mines are going for the enemy queen. We do not have any Hawk Riders left anymore, and this is getting a little bit risky with the town hall. Queen, meanwhile, on the other side is staying somehow still alive to take out the last couple of defenses. Our Royal Champion is getting targeted. We need to use her ability. And this means this is getting really close on time. We have 50 seconds left. One loon on the right side. We have a wizard on the right side. And, well, the nail trap, like I expected, was at the top. Like I said, most of the time those traps are at the top. It's always the same with those teaser bases. I saved one wall breaker to help the queen basically to get through the wall. And so far, if it's not a time fail, it looks pretty good because, well, our queen should not die against 2 Tesla. So everything so far is looking good if the time is enough. So this is going to be super close on time. We have our queen going for everything. Air skeletons are coming up, which are delaying even more. So like if you thought like 15 seconds easy with ease, but there are more and more skeletons coming up, which is super annoying right now. We have only 2 storages alive, and this means the dark storage is going down, the elixir storage is going down. This means we got the triple done. Whew. So let's see, where did we finish and how did we finish the season? First off, let's take a look at the battle log. Wait, you cannot... I thought you could see the last... Okay, it seems like when you're going to the new season, you cannot see what happened before that. So what we did over there, we had 301 trophies on offense, and on defense we had 267. So we had around like 35 trophies plus, which isn't too much. But either way, we did pretty good. So let's see where we finished at the top. And we finished on number 18 in the world, which isn't too bad. I'm pretty happy with that result. Second highest pro player, right behind of Gaku. So we did pretty good. Yeah, I think I have to double check, but I think we were the highest Queen Charge Hybrid attacker. I'm not 100% sure. So, but either way, it was a lot of fun. We will obviously try to push this season again. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video with all of the attacks, with the entire Legend Day. And I will hopefully see you guys back tomorrow for another video. Until then, see ya guys, and bye bye.